The air around you feels familiar, doesn't it? A faint echo of a moment you've lived before, a whisper of a feeling you can't quite place. You've dismissed it as déjà vu, a trick of the mind, but what if it's more? What if it's a ripple in the fabric of what you call now? This present moment, so solid, so undeniable, is actually a fragile construct. It's a snapshot, rendered for your perception, but what happens between snapshots? We exist in a continuous flow, yet our experience of it is broken into discrete frames. That feeling of being stuck, of repeating the same mistakes, it's not just a personal failing. It's part of the illusion, the grand deception of a fixed and linear reality. You sense the loop, but you haven't named its true origin. What you perceive as now is less a point in time and more a carefully curated exhibit. A single, illuminated frame. But what is happening in the darkness beyond that frame? What hidden mechanisms sculpt your present? Next, we'll expose the uncomfortable truth. You're inside a render loop. And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. You felt it, that grinding sensation when life seems to repeat. The same arguments, the same financial struggles, the same patterns in relationships. It feels like bad luck or karma, but it's something far more mechanical. You are experiencing a render loop. It's as if your reality isn't fully formed until you perceive it, and if your perception stays fixed on an old data set, the same reality is simply rendered again. Think of a computer stuck refreshing the same image endlessly. That's your experience. This isn't a metaphor. Your brain, your entire perceptual apparatus, is constantly pulling data from an infinite field of possibilities. If the instructions for that pull remain unchanged, what do you expect to see? More of the same. Your feeling of stagnation isn't an accident. It's the inevitable outcome of an observer locked into previous calibrations. The world appears stagnant because your internal projector hasn't changed its film reel. But how did that film get chosen? Next, we will understand why your observer is still pointed backward. The reason you keep reliving these patterns isn't a cosmic punishment. It's a matter of orientation. Your inner observer, that essential part of you that witnesses reality, is still pointed backward, fixated on the past. It's like driving forward while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. You're moving, but your focus is entirely on where you've been. Every new experience is then filtered through the lens of old hurts, old beliefs, old limitations. This backward gaze creates a powerful echo. The present moment, ripe with new possibilities, is then forced to conform to the historical data. You subconsciously demand that today reflects yesterday and reality obliges. This isn't a conscious choice. It's a deep-seated habit, a kind of internal inertia that keeps the world feeling predictable, even painfully so. But what are the hidden costs of this backward-facing perception? Next, we uncover the strange delay called reality. You yearn for change, for a new beginning, yet it always feels just out of reach. There's a strange, almost imperceptible delay between your intention and its manifestation. This isn't just impatience, it's a fundamental aspect of how reality renders. Think of it like this: your present reality isn't happening now. It's an echo, a resonance of an event that has already occurred at a deeper, unobserved level. What you experience as now is the delayed playback. This delay is precisely where your power lies. It's the space between the potential and the perceived. But if your observer is constantly projecting the past, that delay simply becomes a mechanism for perpetuating the familiar, no matter how unwanted. The strangeness of this delay means you are always subtly behind. You're always perceiving what was rather than what is unfolding. But what internal system keeps orchestrating this perpetual replay? Next, we expose the RAS and the looped identity. Deep within your brain, a gatekeeper operates, a filter of colossal importance, the reticular activating system, or RAS. It's not just about what you notice. It's about what reality literally pulls into your field of awareness. The RAS acts as a relentless programmer for your perception. It sifts through the infinite sensory data, aligning it with your deeply held beliefs, fears, and most potent self-definitions. If you believe you are unsuccessful, your RAS will highlight every piece of evidence confirming that. This isn't malicious, it's efficient. The RAS tries to create a coherent, predictable world for you based on the identity you've established. Your identity isn't just a sense of self, it's a set of instructions for the RAS. This creates an unbreakable loop. Your identity programs the RAS filters reality, and that filtered reality reinforces your identity. It's a self-sustaining cycle, binding you to the familiar. But what if this isn't just about filters, but fundamental physics? Next, we reveal why the observer effect isn't metaphor. You've heard the term observer effect used loosely, a catchphrase for positive thinking, but its true nature is far more potent and far less metaphorical than you imagine. It's a foundational principle, not a self-help platitude. At the quantum level, observation literally collapses possibilities into definite states. Undeniable, unquestionable, what you are observing is quite literally being solidified by your active attention. This isn't wishful thinking. It's the hard wiring of reality. Your focused attention isn't just noticing something, it's participating in its emergence. If your observation is constantly on lack, on pain, on struggle, you are not just seeing it, you are co-creating its persistence. The universe isn't just responding to your thoughts, it's responding to the very act of observation itself, the precise point of your conscious focus. But what determines what you're even capable of observing? Next, we understand how identity is the filtered collapse. Your identity isn't just a label, it's the ultimate filter through which the universe is processed. It's the unique lens that dictates which quantum possibilities collapse into your lived reality and which remain unseen, unexperienced. Every belief you hold about yourself, every story you tell about your past, every expectation for your future, these are not just thoughts. They are programming directives, instructions for the universe on what to bring into focus for you. If your identity is rooted in struggle, then struggle is what collapses into your field of perception. It's not a judgment, it's a literal filtering mechanism, a selective attention on the grandest scale. You become a living embodiment of your self-definition. This collapse isn't random, it's precision-guided by the blueprint of who you believe yourself to be. But what happens when that blueprint gets disrupted, even subtly? Next, we explore how symbols glitch the filter. Your unconscious mind speaks in symbols, not paragraphs. It understands images, feelings, archetypes. And when you introduce new, powerful symbols, you can effectively glitch the rigid filters of your established identity. Think of a mirror cracking. Even a tiny fracture distorts the reflection. A powerful symbol acts in a similar way, introducing a disruptive element into the previously seamless projection of your current reality. These symbols aren't just pretty pictures, they are energetic triggers capable of bypassing the conscious mind's logical defenses and speaking directly to the deep programming of your identity. They offer an alternate instruction set. A symbol of abundance, of courage, of breakthrough, when truly felt and internalized, begins to subtly rewire your RAS. It forces the system to look for new data points. But why has this rewiring been so hard to accomplish? Next, we confront how you've been observed into compliance. You believe your reality is a product of your choices, but what if your choices themselves have been subtly shaped? From the moment you drew your first breath, you have been under observation, and that observation has molded you into compliance. Parents, teachers, society, media, each has projected a version of you, an expectation. And your powerful, quantum observer within, seeking coherence, has largely collapsed into that projected role. You became what you were observed to be. This isn't sinister, it's simply how the observer effect operates on a collective scale. The consistent observation of who you are by others becomes an invisible force, pulling you back into the familiar, predefined self. You try to break free, but the combined observational weight of your known world often acts as an anchoring force, keeping you in the same reality. But what if breaking free doesn't require struggle? Next, we discover why loop breaking doesn't look like effort. You've been taught that change requires immense struggle, pushing against impossible odds. You associate effort with progress. But when it comes to breaking free from render loops, the truth is counterintuitive. Loop breaking doesn't look like effort. Instead, it feels like a subtle shift, a quiet reorientation. It's not about fighting the old reality, but about simply tuning into a different frequency. Resistance only amplifies the old signal. Imagine trying to change a radio station by yelling at the current song. It's futile. True change comes from calmly adjusting the dial, finding the clear signal of a new reality. This is a subtle act of redirection, not brute force. The greatest breakthroughs often arrive not through frantic striving, but through a profound internal realignment, a gentle turning away from the known. But how can you prove this subtle shift is actually working? Next, we explore the micro-shift that proves it. The dramatic, life-altering shifts are often preceded by something far less obvious, the micro-shift. These are the subtle proofs that your internal observer is indeed recalibrating, even if the external world hasn't yet caught up. It might be a moment of unexpected clarity, a sudden feeling of peace in a familiar, stressful situation, or a fresh perspective on an old problem. These aren't just good moods, they are glitches in the established pattern. These micro-shifts are tiny fissures in the old, dominant reality. They are glimpses of a new self emerging, a new reality attempting to render. They are signals that your internal GPS is recalculating. Do not dismiss these small moments. They are the initial quantum signals that you are beginning to collapse a new probability. They are the tremors before the earthquake of your new self, but which version of you is truly waiting to emerge? Next, we consider the versions still being rendered. You exist as an infinite potential field, not a finished product. The you that you are currently experiencing is just one collapsed version, one choice from an infinite array. There are countless other versions still being rendered, waiting for your attention. These aren't hypothetical versions. They are real, energetic probabilities. A wealthier you, a healthier you, a more joyful you. They exist as unobserved quantum states, a latent code waiting to be activated by your focused awareness. Your current self is a consensus reality built from past observations and current filters, but that consensus is not fixed. It is as fluid as your attention allows it to be. Another version of you is perpetually humming in the background. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about shifting your observation to the version of you that is already you in potential. But how do you make that profound shift? Next, we understand why this video is a collapse event. The information you've just received isn't just data, it's a catalyst. This video isn't merely an explanation, it is a collapse event designed to disrupt your existing perceptual loops. You are not just consuming information. You are participating in a shift. By consciously engaging with these concepts, by allowing them to challenge your established beliefs about reality, you are actively introducing new variables into your internal observer's programming. You are glitching the filter. This moment, right now, is an opportunity to repoint your observer, to begin looking forward with intention rather than backward with assumption. The seeds of a new reality have been planted simply by hearing these truths. The choice, as always, remains yours, to dismiss this as mere theory or to allow this knowledge to begin the delicate, powerful process of re-rendering your world, one conscious observation at a time. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.